Hear the word Adonai speaks to you, house of Israel. Here is what Adonai says. Don't learn the ways of the nations. Don't be frightened by astrological signs, even if the nations are afraid of them. For the customs of the peoples are nothing. They cut down a tree in the forest. A craftsman works it with his axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fix it with a hammer and nails so that it won't move. Like a scarecrow in a cucumber patch. It cannot speak. It has to be carried because it cannot walk. It cannot be afraid of it. It can do nothing bad. Likewise, it is unable to do anything good. There is no one like you, Adonai. You are great, and your name is great and mighty. Who would not fear you, King of the nations? For it is your due, since among all the wise of the nations and among all their royalty there is no one like you. One in all they are boorish and stupid. The teachings of their nothings is a piece of wood. Silver is beaten into plates, then imported from Tarshish. Gold from Uphaz is worked by a craftsman and shaped by the hands of a goldsmith. They are clothed in blue and purple, all the work of skillful men. But Adonai God is the true God, the living God, the everlasting King. At his anger the earth trembles, the nations cannot endure his fury. This is what you must say to them: the gods that did not make heaven and earth will perish from earth and from under heaven. God made the earth by his power, established the world by his wisdom. Speak out the sky by his understanding. When he thunders, the waters in heaven roar. He raises clouds from the ends of the earth. He makes the lightnings flash and the rain, and brings the wind out from its storehouses. At this, everyone is proved stupid, ignorant. Every goldsmith put to shame by his idol. The figures he casts are a fraud. There is no breath in them. They are nothing, ridiculous objects. When the day for their punishment comes, they will perish. Yaakov's portion will not be like these, for he is the one who formed all things. Israel is the tribe he claims as his heritage. Adonai Svaot is his name. You who are living under the siege, gather your belongings off the ground. For here is what Adonai says: at this time I am slinging away the inhabitants of the land. I will distress them so that they will feel it. Woe to me because of my wound. My injury is incurable. I used to say, it's only an illness. I can bear it. But now my tent is ruined and its cords are severed. My children have left me and are no more. There is no one to set up my tent again, no one to raise its curtains. The shepherds have become stupid. They have not consulted Adonai. This is why they have not prospered, and all their flocks are scattered. Listen, a noise. It's coming closer. A great uproar from the land of the north, to make the cities of Yehuda desolate, a place for jackals to live. Adonai, I know the way of the humans is not. Adonai, I know that the way of humans is not in their control. Humans are not able to direct their steps as they walk. Adonai, correct me, but in moderation, not in your anger, or you'll reduce me to nothing. Pour out your anger on the nations that do not acknowledge you, also on the families that do not call on your name, for they have consumed Yaakov, consumed him and finished him off, and laid waste to his home. There is the word that came to Yirmiyahu from Adonai. Listen to the words of this covenant. Then speak to the people of Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Tell them that Adonai, the God of Israel, says, a curse on anyone who does not pay attention to the words of this covenant, which I enjoined on your ancestors at the time that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, out of that iron smelter. I said, listen to my voice and carry out all my orders. Then you'll be my people, and I will be your God, so that I can fulfill the oath that I swore to your ancestors to give them a land flowing with milk and honey as it is today. Then I responded, Amen, Adonai. Adonai said to me, proclaim all these words in the cities of Yehuda and in the streets of Jerusalem. Listen to the words of this covenant and obey them. For I solemnly warned your ancestors at the time when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. Until this day I have frequently warned them, listen to my voice. But they have not listened or paid attention. Instead, each one has lived according to their own stubbornness of his own evil heart. For this reason I have brought upon them all the words of this covenant which I ordered them to obey, but they did not obey. When Adonai said to me, the men of Yehuda, the people living in Jerusalem, have formed a conspiracy. They have returned to the sins of their ancestors who refused to hear my words, and they have gone after other gods to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Yehuda have broken my covenant which I have made with their ancestors. Therefore Adonai says, I am going to bring on them disaster which will not be able to escape, which they will not be able to escape, and even if they cry to me, I will not listen to them. Then the cities of Yehuda and the people living in Jerusalem will go and cry to the gods to whom they are making offerings. They will not save them at all in their time of trouble. For you have as many gods, Yehuda, as you have towns, and you have erected as many altars for sacrificing, so that shameful thing Baal, as there are streets in Jerusalem. So you, Yirmiyahu, don't pray for this people. Don't cry and pray on their behalf, because I won't listen to them when they cry to me because of their troubles. What right does my beloved have to be in my house when she has behaved so shamelessly with so many? Offerings of consecrated meat can no longer help, because it is when you are doing evil that you are happy. Adonai once called you an olive tree, beautiful, full of leaves and good fruit. Now with the roar of violent storm, he has set it on fire, and its branches will be consumed. For Adonai Svaot, who planted you, has decreed evil for you. It is because of the evil which the house of Israel and the house of Judah did to themselves, provoking me to the offerings, the incense of Baal. Adonai made this known to me, and then I knew. You showed me what they were doing. I was like a tame lamb, led to be slaughtered. I did not know they were plotting schemes against me. Let's destroy the tree with its fruit. We'll cut off from the land of the living, so that his name will be forgotten. Adonai Svaot, righteous judge, tester of motives and thoughts, I have committed my cause to you, so let me see your vengeance on them. Therefore, here is what Adonai says concerning the men of Anatot, who seek your life and who tell you, stop prophesying in the name of Adonai, or we will kill you ourselves. This is what Adonai Svaot says, I will punish them. Their young men will die by the sword, their sons and daughters will die by famine, none of them will remain. For I will bring disaster on the men of Anatot when the year comes for them to be punished. Adonai, although you would be in the right if I were to dispute with you, nevertheless, I want to discuss some points of justice with you. Who do the wicked prosper? Why do the wicked prosper? Why do the treacherous all thrive? You planted them and took root. They grow and they bear fruit. You are near in their mouths, though far from their hearts. But Adonai, you know me and see me. You test my devotion to you, drag them away like sheep to be slaughtered, and set them apart for the day of the slaughter. How long must the land mourn, and the grass and the field wither? The wild animals and the birds are consumed because of the wickedness of those who live there. For they say, you will not see how we end up. If racing men on foot exhaust you, how will you compete against horses? You may feel secure in the land of peace, but how will you do in the Yarden's thick brush? For even your own brothers and your father's family are betraying you. They are in full cry after you, despite all their nice speech. Don't believe them. I have abandoned my house, I have rejected my heritage, I have given my heart's beloved over to the hands of her foes. For me, my heritage has become like a lion in the forest. She roared out against me, so now I hate her. For me, my heritage like a speckled bird of prey. Other birds of prey surround her and attack her. Go, gather all the wild animals and bring them to devour her. Many shepherds have destroyed my vineyard. They have trampled my plot of land. They have turned my desirable property into a desert waste. Yes, they have made it a waste, wasted. It mourns to me. The whole land is wasted because nobody really cares. On all the desert's bare hills, plunderers have come. Yes, the sword of Adonai devours the land from one end to the other. Nothing alive is safe. They sowed wheat and reaped thorns. They wore themselves out and gained nothing. So be ashamed of your tiny harvest, the result of Adonai's fierce anger. Here is what Adonai says. As for all my evil neighbors, who encroach on the heritage I gave to my people Israel as their possession, I will uproot them from their own land, and I will uproot Yehudah from among them. Then, after I have uprooted them, I will take pity on them again and bring them back, each one to his inheritance, each one to his own land. Then, if I will carefully learn my people's ways, swearing by my name, as Adonai lives, just as they taught my people to swear to Baal, they will build up among my people. But if they refuse to listen, then I will uproot that nation, uproot and destroy it, says Adonai.